Hello, good afternoon. Guys, do you hear me? Or I should say something louder. Hello? Everything is good. So, Dennis, nice to meet you. Thank you for attending this webinar. I'd like to ask all of you guys to write something in the chat if you can see me and if you can hear me. Just say yes or no. So we'll be on the same page. All good. So we still have some time, so it should be more people joining our webinar. It's yeah, so we give more time for other people to join. Okay, some more people already joined. Guys, how are you doing today? How is your Thursday going? Is everything okay? Are you ready for this webinar? Because I'm excited. Okay, some people already ready to start. So we just wait a few more minutes that everyone will be able to join. We have people from different countries. We have someone from Dennis from Russia, Mr. Rosen from Netherlands. We also have people from Belgium, so that's great, and Romania, and Austria, and Spain and Poland, our neighbors. So that's great. Great to see our neighbors here. How are you doing, guys? Write me if you can hear me or if you can see me. I want that all of us will be on the same page. Great. So we have already 19 people join this webinar. So I think we just give 3 minutes and we're going to start it. What do you think? Would that be good for everyone? Great. 24 people joined already. So it's 2 minutes left. So they better hurry up and join our webinar. By the way, I want to say that this webinar will be recorded, so you will be able to find this recording on I believe, on YouTube. In any case, I believe this link will be sent to all of you after all. Okay, it's 28, 29 people in the house, so that's great. More and more people are joining. We have 1 more minute, and we are about to start. Okay, 1 more. Hello, people who just joined our webinar. Yeah, we are glad to see you here. We're glad that you are participating. So we are about to start. Other people will join us in the meantime. So that will be fine. Maybe they will just skip some part at the very beginning, which they can see it later on the recording. So, hi, Michelle. So hello, everyone, guys. Today we gathered to speak about Tachograph solution, which is done by Ruptela. We highly appreciate your participation. I see already 36 people, so it's a lot of interest around this topic. So that's great. That's great to see that. And we appreciate your time that you join us and to listen what we have to say. So I'd like to also tell that in case you will lose the voice or picture, just write it on chat, or if you were logged out, just use the same link and you will get back to the I'd like to introduce myself and my colleague Mohammed. My name is Vladislav Zhakulin. I'm sales manager of transport telematics solutions in Ruptela. And Mohammed is a senior technical support engineer who will join us later on, and he will present to you all the aspects of all the technical aspects of the Tachograph solution. I also would like to tell you that in case you have some questions, and we would highly appreciate them, so please write them on our chat, and we will be answering those questions after the webinar. If some questions will require more time or deeper investigation, we will get back to you by email. And at the same time, you can always reach me and reach Mohammed and Ruptela in general by email, phone, Skype, and etc. So let's then jump into the webinar. I'll first of all want to show you what is the agenda for today. We're going to talk about tachograph regulation. What are the main things about of the tachograph regulations? As well, we're going to tell you about end user problems that they are experiencing. Then we're going to present to you as well a Ruptela tachograph solution. What is it and how everything works? What kind of possibilities you can get with the system? And of course, in the end, we're going to tell you about how to set up this solution. So let's start from the first topic. First topic, it's about regulations that you as a service provider should keep in mind, and maybe sometimes even educate your clients. Many jurisdictions have limits on working hours of drivers and vehicles, such as buses and trucks. And the tachograph can be used to ensure that that the appropriate time, rest time especially, is taken. The driver and their employers, they are legally required to collect and record their activities, as well as save those records and provide them on demand to transport authorities. So the download of the data from the driver's card must be done at least 21 days, and vehicle unit at least every 3 months, together with the data about events, faults, speed, technical information, and all this data must be stored and saved for 1 year. There is as well a regulation on driving time and rest periods, which you can find on the internet, of course, by looking at European regulation about driving and driving time and rest periods. But shortly, I will explain to you main things about driving limits and the resting period. The daily driving limit is 9 hours, which can be, of course, increased to 10 hours, but this is something what driver can do only twice a week. There is as well weekly, daily, not like daily, but weekly driving limit, which is not allowed to be more than 56 hours. This is 56 hours in 1 week. And then it also cannot exceed more than 90 hours in a consecutive week. In regards to resting period, a driver must take after 4.5 hours of continuous or total driving, he has to take a rest for 45 minutes. This rest must be spent specifically on resting. He cannot drive, he cannot do any other work. And driving break in a week, basically, cannot not allowed to be every 24 hour actually. When we are talking about daily driving driver rest, this is 45 minutes every 4.5 hours. And when it's a weekly rest and longer rest, every 24 hour, the driver has to take a break for 11 hours. This is longer time, and he has to also spend it specifically on resting. However, this rest time also can be reduced to 9 hours, up to 3 times a week. And of course, weekly rest period must be at least 45 hours. All those the driver time and resting time must be monitored by the driver and the fleet manager, and then also recorded. And this is something what is going to be provided later on for transport authorities on demand. There is another topic what we wanted to tell you shortly, of course. It's regarding new generation digital tachograph. I know all of you have lots of questions and all of you are waiting for this. So basically from 15th of June this year, new vehicles over 3.5 tons must be equipped with the new generation digital tachographs. As we speak, our guys in the development department are working on that solution. And they are working on this solution in order to make it ready for release not later than I would say maybe not earlier than 6th of August. Another topic that we want to say is about tachograph files formats. So tachograph file formats contains all the data about a vehicle and its driver. And normally driver tachograph file format name is DDD in the Europe. However, in some parts, like France and Spain, the tachograph file has a different file naming. So in France, for instance, there are two types of tachograph files, and the vehicle information is stored in V1B format, and driver data is stored in C1B file. In regard to Spain, they have tachograph file naming TGD. But in any case, TrustTrack allows you to choose the tacho file extension and naming according to your regulation. Next thing that also is important, and you as a service provider should also understand, maybe sometimes to communicate to your as well clients, is their problems. So as per EU regulation, our clients, road transport operators, have to regularly collect tachograph and driver card data files, which then should be stored and provided for transport authorities. But at the moment, what we see that most of the end users, they are collecting all this data physically, which requires to have a person in the company responsible for those activities. And using a manual solution for physical download data to storage, in this case, driver have to wait until the download is complete, and therefore he cannot do any logistical tasks. At the same time, fleet manager, he has to give a call to a driver in order to check what is actually remaining time for driver to drive. And then as well, he has to do all the manual calculations in order to assign delivery tasks correctly. When planners don't have the immediate information about driver remaining time to drive, it becomes actually a difficult task to plan next deliveries. And this is something what we want to avoid. One more thing is the fines for violations. When tachograph files are not collected correctly, or they have been lost, or any other issue occurred with the tachograph file, it leads to a lot of trouble and penalty charge of many thousands euro. At the same time, violation of driving and rest time leads to heavy fines. So, for example, non-compliance with the rules of driving, break, and rest time can result to a maximum fine of up to 3,000 euro, which is, well, a lot of money. So what do we do with this? We'd like to show you our Ruptela's tachograph solution, which is available on the TrustTrack. I also want to tell you our TrustTrack vision. It's an exceptionally easy to use, integral, trustworthy, full solution platform for transport telematics. And in Ruptela, we help our partners to achieve greater growth through close partnership, providing complete full fleet management solutions, hardware, the device itself, which can provide for you vehicle location, vehicle data, tachograph files, and other things. It's a software TrustTrack where you can see all this information provided by the GPS tracker. And it's support where our technical managers and the sales managers and other people as well are answering to your questions and solving your issues on a daily basis. We also provide integrations and connectivity. So you can get, as a service provider, everything from one hand. And you can focus, on sales, basically. So what are those benefits of tachograph solution? what it can bring to the end customer, and what it can give you for you as a service provider. The first benefit is that client would be able to reduce cost by downloading files remotely. Clients also would have the ability to fully control the tachograph files downloads on the system, and together with an easy way to store those DDD files on our secure server. The system as well provides the efficient way of managing this driver working and driving and resting hours. And for you as a service providers, as well, basically most of you are here, it's the possibility to provide a full solution for fleet management and the remote tachograph files download, selling only one single platform. In case customers would require to store those files on their servers, you will have a simple way to forward those files directly to them, to their FTP server. Another benefit is that there is no need to have multiple hardware for fleet management and then for tachographs and for other solutions. Using our TCO for HCV device, you can get everything from one GPS tracker, everything for any fleet management solutions. And of course, when it comes to a multiple number of your clients' company cards, you're able to manage all of them using Ruptela Tachograph app. Last but not least, in Ruptela, we understand that your customers, they have already developed an emotional connection to your brand. So you can represent this trust track with your logo and other initials. In order to demonstrate, I'd like to show you how a tachograph solution looks like on the trust track. Here is the main menu of the module, where you or your clients could find tachograph files and download statuses, and they can easily download tacho files directly to their computers. Also, a menu offers the customization of the layout in order to display tachograph files and driver card files, or just a scheduler. And at the same time, it has a filter, so you can have the possibility to see more relevant user data representation in tachograph download list. So, before creating the new download request, users have to check if the company card has been connected, which you can see on the top right corner on icon company cards, and there is a green number 1. So they have to check if this company card is connected, and after that they can click on icon plus new download in order to proceed with a new request. By the way, in case you have connected multiple company cards, they are also going to be displayed there, so you can easily manage them all. So once you are there in the new tachograph file request, you have to enter, first of all, the title of this download. After all, you select the request type, which would be one time, or it would be a scheduler. And of course, download by object or download by driver, which is great. So in the case you have 2 drivers driving same vehicle, and at the moment of download, first driver is driving and the other one is resting, you can still get the data for the second driver who's resting at the moment of download by simply selecting download tachograph file based on driver. There is a possibility to download just the tachograph file or just driver card or both. And as well, you can select additional information like faults, events, speed data, and as well technical data. What is also important that in case you created a new object on the trust track and you have already created the scheduler, on the trust track, you don't have to go once again to tachograph solution module in order to create new download for this new vehicle. You can, the system will automatically add new vehicles that will be created on the platform to the scheduler that you would be doing from the very beginning. So you can save a lot of time on creating, you know, those files manually. What is also another thing is the driver automatic assignation. On the system, there is a possibility to assign driver automatically to the vehicle. So once the driver inserted his driver card into the tachograph, the driver will automatically appear on the platform, on the vehicle where he just sit in. And in this case, you will have on a driver's module, you would see the icon tachograph, and you would see that vehicle automatically assigned by using the tachograph assignation method. So what's more, TrustTrack allows you to generate driver working time report in order to overview driver working, driving, resting, available duration, and etc. This is how a report looks like. This is what they will see. They can download this report in Excel file, or they can download this in PDF. And the client would be able to generate either one-time report or subscription for various intervals of time with the information for a selected period. And at the same time, he would be able to receive all those reports directly on his email box. There is also in TrustTrack possibility to create templates, so you can easily reuse them in the future, where you can add more drivers or different time, or you can just take it and as it is and then reuse it from the template list. The next thing on our list is driver time analysis. This module on the platform allows you to manage driver working, driving, and resting time. It shows the summary of the driver's day and a week. How long has he been driving or working? And using that module, users can predict when the driver will have to take a next rest and for how long they still could drive. Showing this information, showing how much time is left to drive, or if the driver actually already exceeded the allowed amount of time, it helps for fleet manager to plan vehicle journey way more efficiently. And it helps as well to avoid fines, that are related with the driving time violations, regulation. So what you can see on this module in the time analysis. First thing, it shows you what is the last record, when the last record has been received. Then as well, you can see the driver name. You can see the driver status and duration of the status, for how long he's resting, for how long he's driving or available. As well, you can see information about remaining period of extended driving and reduced rest. So you can plan your trips more efficiently when you can see this information. And at the same time, you can see the data of the driver's day and driver's week, together with the summary of driver's previous week. And of course, you can see when the next daily rest should be taken. I'd like to show you as well how time analysis looks like when you have one driver in the vehicle and when you have two drivers in the vehicle. When it's a one driver, the time analysis module will look basically the same as you saw on previous slide. And when it's two drivers in the same vehicle, you could see both of them on the panel, and you can see their status, the duration of the status, and then in this case, driver day and week information will be accumulated from those both drivers. By the way, what is also important is that this time analysis solution, it's available via API for integration into third-party applications. Middleware solution, Tachograph solution from Ruptela is now available for any tracking platform. With this option, with middleware solution, you would be able to download tachograph data files and time analysis reports directly to your computer. In this way, you don't have to integrate a tracking device into your software, and you don't have to enter to the tracking platform in order to download files. You can just create a scheduler, and files will be automatically downloaded and forwarded to your client FTP server. So in this way, you can, as a service provider, you can save your integration cost and your integration time. It's an easy way and flexible way for integration using our API. And you can make your current solution even more advanced, which is pretty great. There is also one thing that our guys in development department are working on hardly, and this is something what will come pretty soon. It's driver time violations. As you know, every 28 days, a company has to download driver card files and of all their drivers. And they also required to check if all drivers, if they didn't do any violations, yeah. And also later on, they have to help drivers to avoid those violations in the future. There are around 15, 16 possible driving time violations that can be done by him. And when you have to manage a multiple amount of drivers, it becomes quite difficult task to manually track all those drivers' violations. So therefore, we will be launching this new module on the TrustTag, which is driving time violations. The new module will automatically show you which violations has been made by the driver, which driver, and for how long. And as well, overview window will show you information about who is the driver, his name, then as well the violation type, and even it will show you the description, the article description of this violation. So the fleet manager will be able to check in an easy way all those violations, and it will be fast for him to check that. And at the same time, this module will help new beginners in this industry who don't know about violations, who don't know about what the violation exactly is. They can just see it straight away on this module. So stay tuned. You can also contact your sales managers for more information, and we will definitely inform you once it's live. So from my side, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed that. Anyways, I will come back. Next will be Muhammad, who will tell you about technical aspects of tachograph solution. But I will come back after his presentation, and we will both answer your questions that I see in the chat. It's quite a few of them. So thank you very much for those questions. Thank you very much for your time and participation. I'm passing to my colleague, Muhammad.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Muhammad. I'm a technical support engineer from Ruptela. First of all, I would like, before explaining the technical part of this presentation, I would like to take some questions. So I might take some questions from the chat really quick. So does Ruptela provide APIs for third-party integration? Yes, we provide APIs for third-party integrations. We have even a documentation about what APIs do we provide, and all the services that you need. It will be in the manual. I can provide a link later on by the end of the presentation for the APIs that we provide. Anybody have any question? Any other question? Okay, so yeah, digital tachograph, about the new ones. At the moment, the smart ones, we are currently working on integrating them. As my colleague Vladislav already explained about them, that we are currently in active development of the new tachograph. So it's going to be released pretty soon. Okay, so I might start my my part, and then by the end of the presentation, I can take also some additional questions as well. In case if you have any question after the technical presentation, I will be able to answer them. So let's start. I mean, tachograph installation. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to list the requirements for an installation or the supported tachographs. The list of requirements, it's pretty simple. You will need a TCO4 HCV device, and you will need a supported tachograph. How do you know if your tachograph is supported or not? We have a list of the supported tachographs on our tachograph manual on our doc.ruptela.com. You will see the tachograph manual in there, and you will be able to know how to know if your tachograph is supported or not. We have a list of tachograph manufacturers and which version of tachograph we are starting to support. For example, if we take Siemens VDO 1381, we are supporting the versions higher than 1.3A. And for Stoneridge, we are supporting version 7 and higher. So if you want to know if your tachograph is supported or not, we have a full list of the supported tachographs. So how do you install your tachograph? How do you, which methods of connection you're going to use? I'm going to explain that now. So the first thing is how many interfaces you can get tachograph data using our device. Basically, there are two interfaces that you can use. The first one is direct one, and the second one is indirect one. So I will start with the indirect one because since 2010, most of the vehicles kind of like having some kind of problems of getting the data from tachograph directly because C and D ports are kind of sealed. So in this case, usually the tachograph is connected to the same CAN line where you are getting your CAN bus data. CAN bus data is the data of that you are getting from the onboard computer of your vehicle regarding fuel level, mileage, fuel consumption, etc. So if you see that your tachograph C and D ports are sealed, then it's possibly that the tachograph itself is connected to the same CAN line, and we can get the tachograph data through the same CAN line which is the tachograph is connected to. In this case, basically, I mean, you will be not needing to do any kind of additional installations other than the basic installation for CAN FMS to get the CAN bus data. On the device side, you will be doing basically this configuration. It will be CAN, and then you will select FMS. You will select the baud rate, and that's it. So how our device differentiating between CAN bus data and tachograph data, basically there are two modes of CAN reading. It can be CAN bus reading, or it can be tachograph reading. So once the server is requesting download request from the device naturally switches to tachograph reading mode and starts to read tachograph data from the CAN line in indirect way. So in this case, as we said, that installation is very simple, that you will not need to do any kind of like additional installation or additional configuration in the device. The only obstacle you will be facing in case if C and D ports are sealed and you will need to use the indirect way is that if the vehicle is using the default telematics system, in this case, you will not be able to get the tachograph data from CAN line, and you will be needing to go to the vehicle dealer to free C and D ports from tachograph itself, because it will be a must that you connect directly to the tachograph to get tachograph data. So the second method, as I mentioned, it's the direct connection one. How the direct connection one works, as we know that even if you see that in the slide in front of you, tachograph has four kind of connectors. It's A, B, C, and D. From the C connector, we are going to use the CAN lines or the CAN outputs of tachograph, which is bins C7 and C5. Okay, we are going to use bin C8, but in a certain condition I will mention later. So basically 3 bins that are going to be used from port C. It's going to be C5, C7, and C8. And from D, we are going to use D8, which will be K line. What data we're going to get from port D? It's the K line data, which will contain the driver information. It's going to contain the like a driver ID, current status, is he's resting, he's working, and so on. So you will be able to get the driver information from K line from port D. Okay. So how to install directly our device to tachograph directly using C and D ports? You will, as we said, we have 2 CAN lines in our device. The first CAN line, as we said, you will be using, for example, to get CAN bus data. And the second CAN line, which is, we call it CAN 2. So CAN 1 will be CAN bus, the CAN 2 going to be tachograph data. So you will be using the following configuration. As you see, that CAN 1 in front of you, which is CAN, you will see that it's FMS, which is CAN bus FMS data. And CAN 2, we are going to be using it for tachograph data reading. So it will be exclusively CAN 2 will be used just to be connected directly to the tachograph to read tachograph data and downloading your driver card files and your tachograph file. And K-line, we said TCO, tachograph, so we will be using K-line to read tachograph data. So this is how the configuration should be looking like in case if you are going to connect directly to tachograph. Okay, CAN for FMS for CAN bus reading, and CAN 2 for tachograph connected to port C, C5 for CAN high, and C7 for CAN low. And K-line connected to bin D8 from tachograph, and you're going to get the K-line data. Okay, so how do you do the installation? Okay, installation, it's very simple, but you will have to take a note that you might need an interconnection between pins C7 and C8. How do you make sure that you are really needing to do an interconnection? It means like you're connecting pin C8 and C7 joined together. You will have to bring a multimeter and you will measure the resistance between pin C5 and pin C7. If the resistance appear to be around 120 ohms, okay, then you will not need any additional interconnection and you will be connecting CAN 2 high for C5 and CAN 2 low for C7. But if you measure the resistance and you found that the resistance to be infinitely high, then in this case, the interconnection will be needed. And actually, this is the usual case. Interconnection is needed because the resistance it's infinitely high. But you, before installation, you will have, it's a must to measure the resistance. If it's found to be in the range of 120 ohms, then you don't need to connect to pins C7 with C8. But in case if the resistance is very high, then it's a must to do the interconnection. So if you measure the interconnection, the resistance from going to be there is going to be an interconnection is needed between C7 and C8, and you will be connecting CAN high to pin C5 and CAN low to pin C7 and C8 at the same time, joined together. Now you have set the device configuration, as we mentioned, like in this slide, in this way. You connected your K line to pin D8, and everything is set up correctly. This is installation part is it's considered to be finished, and now it's time to validate if the installation was done successfully, if everything is working fine. How do you do that when you are in the field, for example? You will be needing to send an SMS. Okay, it's called TACHO, which is TACHO, to the SIM card of the FM device. After sending the SMS, device should respond back with the tachograph status, tachograph reading status. If it responded 1, it means that there is data flowing from tachograph from board C or from CAN FMS directly to the device, and your connection is done successfully, and you are able now to get remote download from the tachograph. If it came back with 0, it means that there is no data being obtained from the tachograph, and in this case, you will be needing to reach out our support team to investigate what could be the reason that you are unable to get tachograph data from tachograph or from CAN line. Okay, so requirements for remote tachograph download. Actually, requirements are pretty simple. You will be needing to be having a tachograph app we provided, and you will be needing to have a Trust Track account and a company card reader. Company card reader, it's simple card reader that you can attach your company card, on it, and connect it via USB to your computer. This is the main 3 requirements to do the remote download after doing the installation. And that brings us to the next topic, which will be the management of the client company card. Management of the client company card, actually, it's pretty simple. We have our tachograph app, which it will be used for handling Okay, guys, do you hear me? Because I think there is a connection issue. Can you write on the chat if you are able to hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, all good. Okay, so using our tachograph app, you will be able to handle your company cards. you can add numerous uncountable numbers of company cards to the Tachograph app, and you can assign it to the same web user. So you can assign many company cards at the same time to the same web user, and you can assign the same card to different web users. So the card will be available for different web users, so they will be able to use it for authorization of Tachograph download. I would like to show you a screenshot on how it looks, our Tachograph app. If you can see the Tachograph app, it has three main modules. The first one, it's called clients. The second one, it's called cards. The third one, it's called assignments. What is in clients? In clients, you will be adding your credentials of TrustTrack. It will be the username and the password. Username of your current TrustTrack account and your password of the same account. You can add as many as you want of your web users, and in card section, you will be able to control the currently attached company cards to your PC through USB. So once you attach one company card to your PC, it will be visible, okay, and it will show the card, and you will be able to rename it or label it according to which company it represents or the number and so on.
Please ask guys, because didn't see company card. Didn't see company card. So they need like a screenshot how company card looks like. Just listen. In chat. They see still Tacho installation picture. So.
Okay. Do you see? Okay, guys. Do you see this the current screenshot, or you can't see the screenshot? Because I think there is technical issues. No, they can't see the screenshot. Okay, guys, do you see the slides changing in front of you? No. Okay, some people say it's changing, some people say it's not changing. Can you refresh the page? I mean, I think it will help. Okay, can you refresh the page? Okay. Okay, now good. Yeah, F5 solution. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I can continue now, I think. So basically, I was showing this screenshot, and the screenshot, it's for our Tachograph app. And the Tachograph app, it's, as I mentioned, that it's being used to handle your company cards and your web user assignation and so on, to do the remote file download. Okay. So the Tachograph app, it can handle multiple number of company cards, because I have seen this question quite a lot in the chat. And yes, it handles multiple company cards at the same time. You can assign as many as you can to the Tachograph app, and you can add as many as web user at the same time. And in the assignments tab, you will be able to select which company card to which web user it should be shown. So, and you can select the different company cards to be selected to the same web user. So after you're connecting the company card to the web user and you are doing the assignation, so you enter here, you select here, it will be a drop-down menu. I mean, on the card, and then it will be a drop-down menu for the client. So you select which client and which card it should be this card assigned to. So after that, you click on assign, and you will be seeing the list of assignation as red arrows are pointing to. So you will see that Ruptela test company card, it's assigned to the account called presentation, and so on. After you do the successful assignation, you will be able to see the current count of company cards on your web user, and you will see the information about the company card. So you see here in green number 1, it means at the moment the system can see just one card. And if you assign more cards, I mean, the number will grow up. And once you, the number will be increased. So once you click on this module, you will be able to see the company cards. For example, in here it says Ruptela test company card, and it shows information about the PC and what is the IP of this PC and what is the Tachograph app version. And this is the latest one, 1.0.10. So after that, you are connecting the company card, you are assigning to the web user. Now you can start a new download, and after you start a new download, the system will be using the current attached company cards to authorize the download. And you have to make sure that the attached company cards belongs to the same company of the vehicles you're requesting the download from. So the download will be authorized, and you will be able to get the file remotely from the vehicle. So I think that was it for the technical part of my presentation. I will start to take some kind of quick questions on the chat now. You can write your question. I will try to take as short ones because we have like a very limited time at the moment. I can pick up some questions now from the chat. If you have a question, you can write it and I will answer it if I can. Any suggestion for a multiple card hardware device for a Windows USB? I think we can provide you one. If you contact the sales manager, he can provide you with one. I think it's HID one, and you can use it. I mean, to connect. Is it okay if K-line and FMS is connected? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, they don't contradict each other. K-line, as I said, it's basically being used to obtain the driver information. I mean, the current driver information. So an FMS, yeah, but usually it's not the case because usually C and D are sealed. So you will be not able to connect to D board as well. But yeah, if it's available, you can use both. Without CAN2, when no driver ID is present on FMS. I maybe didn't understand the question correctly, but I will try to answer that. If you can get actually the driver, you can actually get the driver ID from FMS. I mean, if the data is being through, I mean, to FMS as well. What is if more than one company card is linked to an account? Which card is used? Yeah, if there is more than one card is attached to the account, usually the trust track, it's by default, I mean, there is one card. If it's busy authorizing a vehicle, then it cannot be used. So if there is another vehicle is trying to request the tachograph download, it will use automatically the second available company card. So if you are attaching, let's say, 5 company cards, so you can do 5 authorizations at the same time. So the vehicle going to the trust track going to assign the next free company card to authorize the download. Can I assign multiple cards on the same time? Yes, you can assign multiple cards at the same time. You can do that from Tachograph app easily. K-line data is also available on FMS. You can. K-line data is exclusively for K-line, but you can get the same information from CAN FMS. Okay, it will be CAN driver ID, for example. If there is a way to get data from TCO from CAN without ignition, I believe it will not be possible, since tachograph works usually with ignition.
Can check some more questions.
We can scroll up. Go up. Just a second. Okay, so I think I have answered almost all the questions, and I think that's it, guys. That was it for today. We would be really happy if you have any kind of question. You can send, your question to support@ruptela.com. Feel free to contact us at any time. And I would like to thank you all for your attendance, and thank you, everybody. Maybe my colleague Vlad want to say something.
And I also would like to add that we will have more webinars about different topics. So, if you have any suggestions, if you have some topics that are hot for you right now and you would like to discuss, you want us to present, please give your suggestions in comments or just by writing us an email, and we will prepare next webinar according to the topics that you will suggest. So thank you very much for participation. It was great. Wish you a great day, and we will go through once again those questions that you wrote, and we will answer them in chat. And yes, we will be on YouTube, so this recording will be placed there, so you can forward to your colleagues this webinar, or you can forward to your clients, so you can do whatever you want with this. So yeah, thank you very much. We wish you a great day, and take care.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.